Hey everybody, this is Robert the Red Prince from Redneck Reviews, and right now we're going to be going over Nightwing #3. All right, well, this is like I said, these are older issues, like I said, but I still think this was one of the better. This opening arc for Nightwing was really one that got me into the character again, and I always wanted to have just him in the story, and with this I get that. The cover page is really cool, really great art there, and we have it's written by Cal Higgins and Eddie Barrows. It's a $2.99 book, so hey, you can get your money's worth on this, and even if it has a lot of ads, I think. All right, so let's start things off. We start off in a cornfield in Iowa 5 years ago, where we have Dick, and he's still, I guess, in a house circus or visiting or whatnot. He goes, well, what do you? What, you don't think I can do it? This guy on the side, I guess it's Dick, is, I think you're stupid if you try, Raymond. Wow, fine, then hit me, Grayson. You sure? Go for it. And he throws this stick of fire on it, all the way up the top, and he catches it on his chin. Perfectly, he's high, right? And he all of a sudden, somebody crashes into him. Whoops. Amazingly, no one gets hit by the stick of fire right here. He goes, ha ha. The guy goes, the heck are you doing, Zane? Not that. Now that's what I call a tackle. A voice from the side comes up. And who is it? It's Mr. Haley from House Circus. He goes, oh, Mr. Howe, what are you doing out here? Well, I'm afraid I've got some bad news, guys. After the show we just did, I can't let you hang out by the fire tonight. What? Why? Because I already told your parents you had extra chores. And he goes, and one of the kids, the girl that was inside, said, and so I'm thinking of a. And then Mr. Howe slipped me the truck key, she said. So I'm thinking of a midnight movie. First one to the truck rides shotgun. Well, Zane's persuasive, she says. He goes, really? Whoa. On it. Oh, come on, Raymond. You got a head start, she tells him. That's totally not fair. He goes, and all of a sudden Mr. Howe grabs Dick. He goes, hey, hold on a second. He goes, he tells him, he goes, she could outrun them both if she wanted, right? He's like, yeah, you know what she's doing, right? He goes, what do you mean? I mean, maybe she doesn't want to sit in the front, since she already knows who's going to be the last to truck. You catch my drift, boy? And, Mr. Howe, if you didn't, just to give you a little backstory again, sorry, I'm trying to be better about this stuff, but he's the owner of the circus. He was like Dick's long-lost uncle, well, not long grandfather figure in the circus. He took care of him, and he's just giving him his advice like, hey, if you want to sit in the back with a pretty girl, make sure that you're the last one over there. She wants to sit with you. So he tells him, he goes, hey, I always look out for you, kiddo. And he died in the last issue. He handed over the tickets to House Circus to Dick, and he's the one running the circus right now. Well, and he tells him, and this is just Dick's thoughts right here. He goes, it's funny, it's the little things you remember about a person, a smile, a few kind words, the way they made you feel at a certain moment. Right now I'm trying to remember Mr. Howe as the fun uncle I grew up with, and not the one I'll never see again. This all started when someone hired a murderer named Sayoko to come after me because of a secret that paints me, Dick Grayson, as the fiercest killer in all of Gotham. If you're interested in, if you're wondering how this all plays out, you can check out my earlier reviews and stuff like that. Well, anyway, he goes, it's a secret I know nothing about, but one that Mr. Howe died to protect. A secret with an answer. So apparently Howe knew something, and I just wanted to take a moment to show this picture right here of how well they drew this. Well done, Eddie Barrows. This is a great picture. We have the light. We have the fat lady all dressed, the fat bearded lady in here. Everyone's all dressed up. So yeah, I really like that art from it, But it's great. It's just great. And in this one we see, apparently when he did this, we see all these people in here. These are, I think, his daughters, and they're just cursing his name because I guess they weren't left the a circus, and they can't make money off of it. Bitter old man, they yell out. And we see over here the girl he was running from earlier in the flashback. That now they're sort of together in this one, and Dick's really happy. What everyone's trying to figure out is Kirk goes here. He was murdered. That's what they're saying. Grayson was the last one to see him alive. And all of a sudden, during this moment of reflecting and trying to come to terms with the loss, we see that Dick goes over here. The heck do you think you are? What the heck do you think you're doing here, Grayson? He doesn't say heck, but I'm trying to operate in the limits of our founder set for this. All of a sudden, this guy goes, "You've got some nerve." Yeah, Brian, and he starts making his way through the crowd of all these circus people. Come on, calm down, Brian. Everyone tells him. You think you can just stroll in here and take it like the circus is yours just because he gave you a piece of paper? No, I'm not taking anything, Brian. Come on, Brian, you're drunk. Daggone right, I'm drunk. Not taking anything. You're not taking anything, he says. Well, I got news for you, Grayson. My dad's gone, and he's not going to be around to help you anymore. He's dead. You hear me? He's really dead. Sorry, I like to get into it when I'm reading this particular one. And we see everyone just sort of crying because they know, their friend is gone, like any of us would have. And do the police have any leads? She asks Dick, and they're alone at this point. He tells him, I told him the name Mr. Howe gave me, and that Sayoko, it's Japanese for beast. But contract killers aren't exactly Atlantic City Fort. Well, they're not taking they're not talking to the right person. What do you mean? I mean they should really be talking to Zane. Our Zane? Why? Because that's what he does now, or at least those are the rumors. He gets people like this Sayoko to work like a booking agent. He's one of the biggest in Chicago. What? After your parents died, everything started to fall apart. And then when Raymond died, well, that's when things hit rock bottom, especially for Zane. He ran away and started a new life, like we all ended up doing. Both. His was darker. I had no idea. Well, you're not exactly great about staying in touch, Dick. Yeah, she makes a little shot at him for not keeping in touch with her, I think, too. What's that supposed to mean? It means you stay ahead of things you don't want to deal with, including people. Heck, it's probably why you're so good at the trapeze. You look forward instead of back, Dick. It's who you are. You really think that, he says? Hey, you're the guy who didn't even come back to Raymond's funeral. What do you think? So apparently this is shaking her up a great deal too. And with all this new information, Dick has to go and find Zane. He goes, after everyone makes it back from the funeral and Craig's crew break down the tent, it's off to Philadelphia for them. But not for me. He goes, I've got one more stop tonight. He goes, it doesn't take much digging to find Zane. Rhea was right. He's been flagged by half a dozen governments, agencies, always on the fringes of jobs, murders, assassinations. Never close enough to have any real connection, but not far enough away to keep from being noticed. And yet, with all the questions I have about Sayoko and Mr. Howe, the one that's rattling me the most right now has nothing to do with either of them. It's about my friend Zane. And we find him in here with Zane. Apparently he's done very well for himself. He's got this room that's sort of an homage to his past life. I know you probably can't see it, but it's got pictures of trapeze and circus folk. And he goes in here, he goes, you might as well come out. I wouldn't be very good at my job if I didn't know you were there. So Zane looks in their room and he says, yeah, I can tell you're there at Nightwing. He goes, by the looks of all these banners, Zane, I'd almost think you preferred your old job, except for the part about an assassin murdering C.C. Howe. You sitting here waist deep in contract killers. Awful convenient, if you ask me. It seems you have more than your cities mixed up, Nightwing. You seem to have more than your cities mixed up, Nightwing, isn't it? Isn't it? He's like basically saying you're gonna pin this my dad's murder on me. He goes, come on, Zane. The size of this office, you're clearly good at your job. There's no way you're this sloppy. But I'm willing to bet you know who is. Tell me who contracted the hit, and I won't relocate to Chicago and make you my new hobby. You know, we live in a world so focused on where we're going that's all too often we forget where we've started. It's why I keep the banners here as a constant reminder. So you see that Zane is sort of sadistic. Now, he's telling Nightwing this. I mean, I guess he'd have to be to deal with all those contract killers. But however, there's another period of my life that I rarely get to pay tribute anymore. Except, of course, when someone comes into my office and tries to threaten me. And all of a sudden, we see Dick flashing back to all these dark moments in his life. Incompetent, worthless, and all these insults are flying at him. So, Zane's got some juice or some weapon. Brian, move, start. Brain, move, searing, move, hot. He goes, you don't get other killers work without putting in work yourself. Learn some tricks, get some upgrades. So he's started off as a contract killer. Now we face that. It's kind of sad because Dick only came to help him. They used to call me feedback for a reason. So he's feeding back all this dark and negative stimuli back on Nightwing. What is it? He goes back to the night his parents died. He goes, all the ones you let down, all the ones you couldn't save. Mom, Dad, you let us die, Dick. So this is a really strange form of torture for him. Will you let us die again? And he is just plundering through it. So anyway, as you know, the Boy Wonder, former Boy Wonder, piles through it and manages to knock Zane on his butt right here after he piles through the memory and all the emotional stretch. And he just breaks through the after he starts beating him up. He just breaks through the feedback. He goes, feedback. That's a neat trick you've got there, he says. Hurts. It hurts. Tell me who hired Sayoko, and my second call will be to a doctor. Don't know who. And I'm supposed to just believe you, he says. He goes, because if I knew, I'd kill them. Listen to me very carefully, Zane. I'm only going to warn you once. Stay far away from this. Take my advice and find a new career. Because this one clearly doesn't agree with you. We see him go away kind of sad because all he wanted to do was help his friend. And he goes back and tells his new little chippy girlfriend, he says, he goes, hey, Rhea, so there's something I need to talk to you about what you said before. Okay, you're right. You know about me always looking forward and never looking back, about not dealing with the past? But see, here's the thing, Rhea. The night of Raymond's funeral, I was there. I never told anyone this before, but I snuck out that night away from Bruce, away from the mayor, and I took 2 buses to get there, to be with you all, except when I saw you, you were standing in front of a closed casket crying. It was the same look you had the last time we saw each other, at my parents' service. The same look when I said goodbye to you and I couldn't do it again. Rhea, I couldn't say goodbye again. So I ran. But I want you to know, I'm not running this time. I'm staying right here. Mr. Howell left me the circus, and wanted me here. I wanted me with all of you. And until I figure out who did this to him, that's exactly where I'm going to be. You sure you mean right here? Hey, it's not fair, he tells her. So they're just going to go in there and get it on. And we find ourselves in a darker place, where this guy is just crying over a big old bottle of vodka. He goes, your past is so supposed to be your past. You're not supposed to come back to it. This is all his fault. My father and the circus. Dick was never supposed to be part of this. You're still going to kill him, right? When the time's right. It's Zane. I mean, he knew who it was. And we see Sayoko on the side going, that's exactly what I'm going to do. So we still don't know who this Sayoko guy is, but gotta tell you, I really liked this issue. It had it's a really emotional piece for Nightwing. All in all, um, can give this thing a perfect comic. I have to give it to it because it's a $2.99 comic. It's part of the N52. The only thing you need, well, perfect comic as far as art goes. As far as the story goes, you need to read the back part of the synopsis. You can't just bring it up as pick it up and know immediately what's going on. You gotta do a little back reading. But all in all, yeah, I'm gonna give it a perfect comic score because I like Nightwing. I like the price on this one. I love the art, the story behind it, the emotional center it has in here. All in all, not a bad piece of work at all. So that's your Redneck review, guys. A perfect comic for Nightwing #3. Please, like I said, let me know how I'm doing in these reviews. If you have a question for me, leave it down below. I'll be happy to talk about it. The main thing we want is to talk comics with you guys. And if you like our videos, we know you enjoyed it, so just leave us some comments. We'd really love to hear that. Alright, well, from all of us at Redneck Reviews, thank you so much, and God bless.